and welcome. I'm Nicole Fisher and welcome to Let's Cook Overnight Oats. So we've been doing a lot of meal prepping kind of things now that people are getting back to work or changing routines, finding simple healthy meals that you can meal prep quickly and easily and without a lot of cooking skills is always important and nice to have kind of filed back in there that you can use at any time. And overnight oats is one of the best. I like it because you can really get creative with what your oats taste like. I mean, you can do anything from cinnamon bun oats to today, we're going to do some carrot cake oats, some pina colada flavored ones, and some blueberry muffin ones, but you don't have to stop there. It could be peanut butter and jelly, s'more, anything really. So I'll show you the basics and then you guys can create your own. Also, I don't have a helper today, so if you do write something in the chat, I'll try to get to it, but it will probably be after I'm done cooking, or feel free to unmute yourself and speak out loud, and then I can get back to you as soon as I can. All right, let's get started. So you'll see obviously a ton of stuff. When I am meal prepping, I think one of the most important and easiest things you could do for yourself is pull out everything you're going to need. It will make meal prepping go so much faster. I know it looks like a lot of stuff to have to clean out or pull out, but this way you can do it like an assembly line and you're in and out with no issues. I am going to put my oats in these really fancy mason jars. You do not have to do that. It could be a regular Tupperware. If you do like to use the mason jars, I like that they're glass and reusable. You can pick up a big container at Walmart for pretty cheap. And then I use them for everything, like pickling stuff is good. You can even do like pasta salads in here, soups, anything to take to work. They're really convenient. So yeah, I'm gonna open these all up because we're gonna do our base at the same time. So that way you can see what goes into your basic overnight oats, and then I'll show you a little bit of variety, and then maybe we'll come up with some ideas that you guys can do apart from the ones I showed you. I really like to use 1 minute oats. You can use steel cut oats. It's just texturally, they'll stay a little bit firmer. These, if you like your oats to be a little softer, then the 1 minute oats break down a little better and kind of soak up the milk, non-dairy milk, whatever you're using with that. I grab a measuring cup. I'm starting with just half a cup, but we are going to add 1 full cup of oats. But honestly, like, you don't have to measure these out. You could just pour about half the container of oats in there. That's a little bit. We'll go there. I like to do about half of the container of oats. And same here, because remember, we're doing all of our bases together since they're going to be about the same. And we'll go a little bit more so we can get close to half. Also a bonus here, nothing has to be that exact. You can kind of make it the way you like it. And that might be a little bit different for everybody. So, half here. All right, so now we have our oatmeal, and you can measure out the actual oat milk or whatever you're going to use. I'm going to use this oat milk because it's my favorite kind of non-dairy milk. Or you could just do the simplest and fastest way, and I'm always for that, is just pour until your liquid covers the oats. So that makes it super easy to remember. Again, we're all about ease here. And if you pour a little bit too much liquid, it's not a problem. Pour a little bit too less. Again, they'll still be delicious. So this is a perfect no-fail system. All right, so you have your oat milk or non-dairy milk or regular milk. Oats already in there. I like to add either some chia seeds or flax seeds or hemp seeds. It just gives it a little more protein and a little more satiety for you, and they're full of all kinds of great things for you. Extra fiber is always a bonus. So I have a mixture here of flax, chia, and hemp. Not quite sure all the actual flax seeds break down because they are not ground, but they're still pretty good and they add a bit of flavor and texture. So I'm gonna throw about a tablespoon in. You can do more or less, but if you are gonna do more, remember it will change the flavor of what you're making. So you wanna be really careful with that. A tablespoon just adds a little bit of texture and won't really change anything about what you're cooking. The next part is I'm gonna add some coconut milk. And what I like to do with this is actually just add the creamy, thick stuff on top. So it like hardens if you let it sit in the pantry or the fridge, either way, there'll be a thick, creamy layer on top. You can add the liquid. It just might mean you either one, have a little bit watery overnight oats, or you can add less of your non-dairy milk. And this is just to add a little bit of creaminess to it. I just added about a spoonful, and it's a big spoonful, so it's probably close to 2 tablespoons. But you can add more or less depending on how much creaminess you want added to your oats. And the last thing, I kept trying to put a top on that, but there isn't one. The last thing I'm gonna add is a little bit of vanilla extract. And you'll see this throughout. This is gonna be my little fun hint to take home with you, is that extracts can add a whole bunch of flavor without adding those calories or that sugar or anything like that. And we eat, like half of eating is, smelling things. So the extracts smell really strong and sweet and delicious. So it gives you that really like rich, fun flavor to it, I guess. Well, not really flavor, but the smell of a flavor. The only key I'm going to tell you is when you're pouring extract, because a little bit of extract goes a long way, I like to start with 1/8 of a teaspoon, 1/8 of a teaspoon. You can always go back and add more extract, but you can't take it away. So start small. And we are going to go back and add a couple of different flavors to these. So that's why we did a little less vanilla. If you're just going to do vanilla, then you can add a little bit more and not have to worry about it. But yeah, so just that little hint. Now we're going to take a really awesome spoon and we're going to mix these a little bit. So if you've ever looked up how to make these, a lot of these recipes will say, like, let them sit in the fridge overnight and then add your toppings and then eat them the following day, or let them sit for 30 minutes. You can do all of that and it is awesome, but we're all scrounging for extra time. So I feel like the easiest thing we can do for ourselves is just put it all together at once and not have to worry about it. It's not going to change anything. It's still going to be delicious. You're still going to get all the goodness of those overnight oats. Right, so you want to mix it all the way around until it looks like, your oats are pretty covered, your coconut milk spots have gone away. And just this last one. If you don't get it all mixed, it's really okay. See, you might have little pockets with different flavors in them. Totally fine. You can always pick the jar up as well and try to shake it. I have not always been successful with that method, so I really like to take a spoon and kind of mix it around a little bit. So now you have your base. You have a lot of options with even your base. Like I said, you could use different kinds of oats. Instead of coconut milk, you can always use yogurt. I try to stay away from some of the yogurts and just do it unsweetened coconut milk works pretty good. You could leave it out altogether if you don't want that creaminess. A little bit of extract and your milk of choice. All right, so let's do the really fun part and flavor some of these. I'm going to start with what I think is the most complicated, but really not complicated at all. We're going to do a carrot cake one. Now, I really like this one because it's different. It's got a fun flavor. You get to add a carrot. It's awesome. So my carrots inside here, I really like them to be like fine pieces of carrots. I feel like it mixes better with your oats if they're really like finely ground. You can use shredded carrots or chunks of carrots. To me, that doesn't really give you the carrot cake flavor, but it's totally up to you. So I take an actual cheese grater and grate some carrots. How much or how little you do is optional. I'm a big fan of carrots, so I kind of like to do a lot. Also, it's super good for you. Great for your eyes. All right, So as you can kind of see, my carrot is like a paste almost. And I like that because it mixes perfectly with my overnight oats. So that's about a tablespoon. We might add a little bit more on the top when we finish, when we rinse the hands. All right, next, raisins. I love raisins, so this one's really fun for me. I feel like raisins aren't always in enough things. So there's 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, do a third one. These also don't have to be measured out. You can really do as little or as many as you would like. Agave syrup. So you don't have to use the agave syrup. I like that hint of sweet. And I just try to do the tiniest bit. So just a little drizzle so we get that rich, sweet, good flavor. Walnuts. If you don't like walnuts, you can always try pecans in it. I like to add the nuts, specifically walnuts, because walnuts have a ton of omega-3s in there for you. So it's really good. So between that and your flax seeds, you're golden with good things for you. And I'm just kind of breaking them up as I put them in there. And cinnamon. I love a bit of cinnamon, and that's really going to bring the whole carrot cake flavor home. I'm going to take about maybe a half of teaspoon. You don't want to do too much. Cinnamon has a really strong flavor to it. Totally optional is also this pumpkin pie spice. Sometimes I like to do a splash of that. Just gives it a deeper, richer flavor. And now we have our carrot cake ingredients. And for this part, I am going to mix it. I'm going to mix it down a little bit because I want all those flavors to get inside the oatmeal. I don't just want the good stuff to be on top. I want them to get flavor throughout the entire thing of oats. So mixing, mixing, mixing. But you know, we do want a little treat on top. All right, so I've mixed, mixed, mixed. And the last little bit, so I'm going to add 1 little layer of carrots for a topper. I mean, also just because it looks pretty. Little carrot topper, couple more raisins. Couple pieces of walnut. So now our overnight oats look so good and delicious. So all of that is going to sit together and marinate. You can put it in the fridge. Technically, you can eat it right now, so nothing is actually raw. You'll be fine. It'll be delicious. Or you can wait and have it for a snack tomorrow. It's so good either way. All right, so carrot done. Next one. This is a super easy one. It's a pina colada flavor. So we're only going to add a couple things and it's going to be amazing. Coconut flakes. The only thing I will tell you about coconut flakes is it's really hard to find unsweetened ones, but you want to try. It should say unsweetened on there. The other ones have sugar and preservatives and all kinds of things, and we don't necessarily want those. Pineapple. My pineapple is in big, big chunks. So I'm going to cut it down just a little bit so it fits in our jar a little bit nicer. So we have coconut and pineapple. I'm going to mix, mix, mix. Because we want, again, those flavors to go way down in there. And I will tell you, one of the fun extracts is there is a rum-flavored extract, which is a little bit fun. There's no alcohol in it. It's just an extract. It's just a flavoring. If you want to make it a really fun pina colada, you can add a little bit of that rum-flavored extract. It goes a long way, so just a little bit. Second topper. We always finish with a little added topper there. A little bit more coconut. Oh, that one is so easy and so fun. It tastes like summertime or vacation. So a little bit of coconut, a little bit of pineapple, and you have yourself a pina colada flavor. I don't usually add agave to that. Pineapple's pretty sweet on its own, and even the coconut flakes add a lot of flavor, so you don't really need anything else there. All right, blueberry muffin. So fresh blueberries, because they are amazing. I'm just going to add like a handful, because again, we're going to double layer. And then pecans. I really like pecans. I mean, I don't always buy honey roasted and chopped ones. Normally they're just plain. Apparently I did this time. Yeah, plain works a little bit better. The raw ones, these will add a ton of flavor. So I'm definitely not going to add any more sugar into those. a weird thing, but also a delicious thing is the tiniest bit of lemon. Lemon complements blueberries so good. I just do the tiniest little squirt. And I know this is also going to sound a little weird, but a tiny hint of cinnamon in my muffin. I don't know if you guys like to bake, but cinnamon is always a nice added touch. I'm gonna mix. And if you're looking for those omega-3s, you can always do walnuts instead of pecans. Oh my God, this smells so good. So I mix, and then the last little part is adding that extra topper. I really like blueberries, so I'm adding a bunch. And blueberries are great brain food, so if you want to add a whole bunch, that would be amazing. And this time I'm actually going to top with walnuts. So I like that mix of nuts. You don't have to stick with one or the other. You can do a mix. And I'm breaking them up. Add a couple more because walnuts are amazing. And there's my blueberry muffin one. Now these will all go in the fridge. I'll probably let them sit overnight and then I'll start eating them tomorrow. It'll be amazing. And the last couple weeks, I don't really like to do the ones with fruit in them longer than a week, but you can still eat them. They're usually good. If you do want to make them last a little bit longer, try doing things like the carrot cake. Even like a peanut butter and jelly one is really fun. You can do a little bit of jelly, some peanut butter in there in your base, and it tastes just like a sandwich. It's amazing. So that one will last you pretty long. But yeah, those are overnight oats. We made 3 amazing flavors. I eat them cold. You can heat them up. Just make sure if you're using one of these, obviously, that you take the metal off. You can put in whey protein as well. The only thing I want to say about that is between the oats and the nuts and everything, you are getting a decent amount of protein, especially if you're adding flax seeds and chia seeds. You just want to be careful what brand, because you could be adding a lot more calories, and then your nice, fun, healthy snack can be a little heavier than what we think. It tastes great with it. I have a 4 Sigmatic vegan protein powder, and it tastes great with it. Sometimes I'll do that instead of doing the coconut milk. I have had them warm, by the way. They are really good warm, and they smell amazing. So it's totally an option. Just depends how you like to eat your oatmeal. Thanks so much for coming. I hope you learned a lot and that it was exciting and that you try them. Thanks, guys.